Elizabeth!
No, Elizabeth!
No! Elizabeth, don't!
This is Left Unsupervised with Elizabeth Morales, your comedic host that's done it all. Actress, writer, director, producer, hairdresser, bartender, beauty pageant organizer, rock and roll PR expert, talent coordinator, bookkeeper, hostess, makeup artist, wife, mother, and general badass. Now listen as she interviews all of her favorite celebrities, doctors, and entrepreneurs that she's met along the way. This week, Elizabeth is left unsupervised with her guest,
Randy Morgan. Oh my God, Dana. Today we have this amazing bronze sculptor called Randy Morgan, and he's so freaking talented. I can't wait. And his personality is huge. I mean, he's such a funny guy with so many interesting stories.
I can't wait to meet him. I did a little bit of internet stalking in preparation for the episode and looked at some of the amazing art that he's done, and he's done really cool public art pieces. He has also done, and this is like what I'm dying to talk about, he's done these pieces in people's homes and like around their pools, and it looks just like I am luxury, I am decadence. Like, it is so fancy and amazing when you think of like how like your home style has evolved like over the last like couple of years. Like,
oh my God,
the stuff that like he has the kind of like pieces that he does for people in like their homes. Like, could you ever picture having like a home like that has these amazing pieces in it?
Well, I could now. My taste has evolved like tremendously. I remember having a pink wall in my room. Like, my room was pink, but like Pepto-Bismol pink.
How old were you when you had a Pepto room?
I was in my 20s. And then I decided that it would be really cool to take acrylic paint and dip a fork in it and then splatter the walls with this black paint. And then I just remember being in the room and feeling totally like uncomfortable. Like, and I couldn't figure out why.
You threw paint all over the walls, Beth. Of course you were.
And then I look at the other day, I was like looking at these pictures, and I had my big poof on, like tease. I used to tease my hair with a mustache comb. Like,
what is that?
Okay, so men that have like facial hair, they used to have these little combs, and they're about teeny little things. They look like hairbrushes for a Barbie doll.
I don't know why I'm picturing he was Monica's boyfriend in like an early season of Tom Selleck.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that's
okay.
like the mustache I'm picturing when you say it.
Yeah, so they have these little combs that they comb their. So I used to tease my hair so on the ends, and I would, at the root, and then Aquanet it. And so I have this picture of me in this Pepto-Bismol pink room. At the time, Madonna was like the thing. So I was platinum blonde with my roots teased. So I look like a porcupine and Aquanet. And I'm sitting in the room, and I saw this picture, and I was like, oh my God, was I ever comfortable in this room? No. That's why I did, I think, so many drugs.
No, I mean.
Or drank so much.
That does not sound like a like comfy let your hair down situation. I am familiar with like the tease at the root and the Aquanet because I am from Staten Island. So like, but it was a rat tail comb was always what we would use for that.
The Jersey look.
The Jersey look, which is 1980s, like at its core, like
so
early
understated.
90s, late 80s. Yeah. Like a nice understated
porcupine.
The bangs that stand straight up. I don't even know. I wouldn't even know how to begin to try to understand how the gravity was defied for an entire decade with bangs that went up.
Well, and I also lived in Florida, so I don't know how I defied the humidity.
I lived in Florida for a year, and I wore a ponytail every single day. It was
Talk about bad hair days.
I mean, you would cross the state line from Georgia. We used to drive from New York. My hair and my mother's hair go poof.
Up. It's like frisball.
Frisball.
I have straight hair, and I get a frisball when I go to Florida.
Oh, my God.
And my hair is like super straight.
Mine is not.
So has your design taste changed?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I'm sure there will be a point where I look back on all of like my marble and rose gold accents and my Himalayan salt lamps, and I'll be like, Jesus Christ, get over yourself. But that's
Hey,
kind of
listen,
like my
it's
aesthetic
like
now.
Little spirituality goes a long way.
I know. I'm just like covered in crystals and like my white bed sheets that are like, if I'm being like completely honest, covered in fucking mascara. But there was a point in my teenage years where my room was painted completely red. I had a leopard bedspread and black lights. It was like a sex dungeon. And my mother gave me like...
Sounds very Rick James.
It was very Rick James. It was very
She's
like...
a very kinky girl.
Yeah, which is... I had a retainer in my mouth that was permanent. I had a permanent retainer. So I was like coming home from like...
Did you talk like this?
Yeah, for years. I had to get my first blowjob with that thing in my mouth. It was horrible.
Was it messy?
It was so many things. I think dangerous is probably the biggest thing it was. But I was coming home to this like sexy room. And like my like giant Jansport that was like ripping, just filled with textbooks. And like
what did your mom think about all this?
My mom, bless her heart, like she was so patient with me. I remember she would stand like at the door and she'd go, okay.
Question, did you have any mirrors on the ceiling?
It would have been the only thing missing.
Any neon velvet paintings on the wall?
You know what? When I was like maybe like a little older, maybe like a senior in high school, that people like would know I like smoked weed. So I wanted to make my room represent that. So I had like 3 Bob Marley posters. You know who listened to Bob Marley in my house? My mother, not me.
Oh my God. And hence the pot smoking began.
Yeah. So now like when I look at my space, like I try and like I come home to something that I find very relaxing because I too have had a room that caused me great anxiety.
Oh my God. Do you remember what were they called? The big eyes? Those paintings with the dolls that had the big eyes. The big eyes.
Yeah. Tim Burton did that movie with Amy Adams a few years ago. Those like big, I don't like anything with eyes. I don't even like a teddy bear or I don't want a picture.
I'm learning so much about you in this episode.
I really came in hot like an open book. I was like,
God.
It's 11 o'clock in the morning. I've had 3 cups of coffee and I want to talk like
You're
I've had a
on
bottle of wine.
Fire right now. Oh my God.
Imagine if we did an episode where I drank.
Oh my God. Well, we got to try that. I want to hear more. Well, yeah, I have to say that my tastes I've gone through, the crazy every color in the house to the Spanish Mediterranean where one room was red, one room was yellow.
Your home now is gorgeous. Like you really, I think, landed on something very like serene and tranquil and like open and bright.
Well, I love open, like my house, I have French doors. I open everything all the time. I like bright light, skylights. And if you would have seen my house, my walls, like I had a red room. It was a Moroccan room. And then I had a yellow and it was Spanish Mediterranean. And so now I've painted my walls white because I feel like I want clean, serene, just like I've always had a black car. Now I'm driving a white car because I wanted pure and just, and I have my crystals too. But I just remember when we bought the house. So my house has been evolved through, it started as a ranch home and now it's evolved into like the Spanish Mediterranean and now it's going a little bit modern with a little Spanish in there. But man, doing stuff to your house is a pain in the ass because I remember when we put in the pool, it was a nightmare. Like I was fighting with my contractor all the time. And that you don't win any fights with me.
Oh, no. Just in case anybody was under any impression, this is our season finale. And I just want to leave you with one thing. Don't pick a fight with Elizabeth. Don't do it.
You won't win.
You won't win.
No. So I wanted this specific stone that I saw in Hawaii around the pool that looked like sand. And my architect kept trying to get me to do gray slate. And I just didn't want it. I wanted my backyard like super tropical, And so I am a Caribbean woman. So I wanted tropical. So we fought for months. And he's like, you're just not going to find this. You're holding everything back. And I'm like, it's my house and I'm going to live here. I want what I want when I want it. So I looked for 3 months, and I found the stone.
Of course you fucking did. Of course you did.
Yeah, and not only did I do that, but I took the architect and I rubbed his face in it and said, "You see, you're just being lazy." And so I'm dying to hear if Randy's had some nightmare clients like me.
I'm so excited. I want to hear all about. He has so many cool up and coming stuff. His book. I'm thrilled to hear about all of it.
Oh my God! And yeah, let me just tell you, just because I'm a Type A, in my house, I am the handy woman. And Mike is not allowed to touch my toolbox. So I'm the one that, builds, does everything. And if you touch my toolbox, unless you touch it softly.
Yeah, buy my toolbox dinner first, please.
Yes, buy the toolbox girl dinner first, and then you can touch my toolbox. But no, he's not allowed to touch it. He's not allowed. Because
you know what?
Shit misses every time.
Well, let's get Randy in here. I can't wait to hear all of his... he's had such a journey. I can't wait to hear about all of it.
I can't wait to. Today's guest is a badass award-winning sculptor, best-selling author, and has currently shot a new TV pilot based around his art. He not only makes incredible pieces of art, but he also uses bronze to create doors, create amazing architectural elements, and public art pieces. He continues to innovate and push the limits of designs, always creating for those who are searching for the unique. Randy Morgan is here in the studio today, and I am so excited to meet you, Randy. Welcome.
So happy to be here, Elizabeth.
Oh my God. So I have so many questions for you. You are a bigger than life person. I mean, your stuff, I've looked at it. It is amazing. And I can't wait to get in because I know you got a lot of stories that I can't wait to hear about. But you are a native Californian? Is that right?
Yes, I am.
Where were you born? What part of
Well,
California?
actually, I was born in Mississippi. And my dad was a Iwo Jima survivor from World War II.
Wow.
He lied to get in the Marines at 15, fought the last 2 battles of the war. He got out. He went to the school on the GI Bill, and then they drafted him back into Korea in 1953. And then that's when he brought the family to California because they made him a drill instructor at Camp Pendleton.
Oh, my God.
Down in San Clemente. So that's how we got to Laguna Beach.
Wow.
Where I still reside.
I love Laguna Beach. It's
Oh,
so...
yeah, that's great.
So, Randy,
I've been there for 15 years, and I'm still looking for a parking place. But it's
Hey,
cool.
who needs a parking place when you got that incredible beach?
That's right. That's right.
So, Randy, I heard a story about you that's probably got to be one of my favorite stories, that you drove your car in the 1970s from Newport Beach to Chile.
Yes, I did.
In South
Yes, I did.
America. Tell me about that experience and why drive? I didn't even know that was even possible.
Well, I didn't know it was possible either. I actually was just with my first wife, and it was after college, and I had a little bit of cash. So I was going to go to Costa Rica and go surfing. So in those days, we drove because I surfed all along the way in Mexico, and I've been to Mexico a few times. We traveled through Central America. I met this guy from Chile and this guy from Argentina. They were both each driving a car, and we kept surfing in all the surf spots on the way down. We kept bumping into these guys, so we befriended them. We hung out with them for a couple of weeks, and they invited us to come down to Chile. This guy said, my father has a little ranch, and you guys can come down. And so I sent home for a little bit more money. I had a little bit more money left. And you had to go to Panama, put your car on a ferry it over to Colombia, and then fly over in a plane to Colombia, to Cali, take a bus back to the coast and get it off the ferry. It was a big hassle.
Oh, my God.
And so then we drove all over South America. And then we got down to Chile, and the little ranch was about from Hollywood here to Tijuana. That's how little the ranch was.
Oh, my God.
And so they were very wealthy. And then they flew us in a plane to Brazil, and we went all over with them, and they showed us South America. So it was incredible.
Any crazy stories along the way?
Oh, a lot of crazy stories. Yeah, I think the statute of limitations has run out. Gotta watch it with those South American stories.
Hey, I'm sure. Listen, Colombia, Chile, we don't need to go any further.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just kind of crazy. I mean, we had no cell phone in those days.
Well, just driving there is crazy.
Driving is wild because you're out in the middle of nowhere. They had terrorists. The FARC was operating in Colombia, so you had to watch it when you were out in the jungle. And, we spent 2 weeks down in the Yungas, the jungle,
Oh, my
in
gosh.
the Amazon, waiting for it to stop raining in a tin shack playing cards with these guys, waiting for the river to go down enough so they could float us across. And, it was like the Motorcycle Diaries, that movie. It was like the Motorcycle Diaries on steroids.
So you're like a cat. You have like 9 lives. Probably
Yeah,
by
I got
this
9
by
lives.
this point, you probably have more. I heard that you owned several bars and clubs before you decided to return to art. What enticed you to return back to art?
Well, when I was a child, I won my first art award at 5 years old.
Wow.
My kindergarten teacher, who I was in love with, I fell in love with her, and so to impress her, I was.
So you've been a ladies' man since you were in kindergarten.
Well, yeah, I think so. I don't know if I'm a good one, but I am one. I won my first award. I won the blue ribbon at the L.A. County Fair for the kindergartners for a painting I did of a horse. But my dad was worked as a printer for a while, and he would bring big rolls of paper home for me, and I would roll the paper out and lock myself in my room for hours and draw these storyboards, cowboys and Indians, sports heroes, stuff like that. So they thought I was weird, so they took me to a psychologist, and the guy, luckily it was this was in the 50s. Luckily, it was a guy that said to keep encouraging me. So my parents encouraged me, which was good. And that's one of the things I have in my book, The Creation Code. It's about encouraging people for what they're gifts for. I'm a firm believer in there's a lot of alcoholism, drug use, and unhappy people that haven't been doing what their gifts are. And so they're
Right.
they let other people influence them and criticize them, and so they end up having a career that they're not shouldn't be in.
Well, right, because they want to homogenize everybody. So anybody that has a
They
little
put
bit of a
everybody in
yes, creative spirit. Like even my son, he's a very creative spirit, and he's different than the other kids, but he's so intelligent
Right.
that I remember one of the teachers at school when he was in 3rd grade was like, "Oh, he thinks outside the box," and I'm thinking, yes, that's exactly
Thank
what we
God,
want.
thank
Thank
God.
God. Yes, I agree.
Well, that's how people get ideas, or how billionaires are made.
Exactly.
You make good money working for what you trained yourself to do. You make fabulous money for having ideas and being paid for your ideas.
And I embrace the being different.
Yeah, embrace the being different.
You have to. Now, what is roadmap of art walls?
Okay, so I'm kind of like the Madonna of art. I had to reinvent myself a few times because of just the way the art world has flowed over the years.
Right.
I'm almost 70 years old, so.
Oh, you look fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Well, we're all. I'm like Peter Pan. That's what people say about me.
Well,
because
that's good. That's
why
what
don't
keeps you
why-
young.
Why don't you grow up? And I always say, why?
No, who wants to grow up? I don't want to grow up.
I don't mind growing old, but I don't want to grow up.
Exactly.
At any rate, what was the question? I'm sorry.
The question is, what's the roadmap of art
the
walls?
roadmap of art walls. Well, when the building industry went away, I had a long career. I chose to be an architectural artist and work for the studios making sets and working on the theme parks for the various water parks, and the one with the mouse and
Right. We can't say the name.
yeah.
The one with the mouse.
So I have a long career that I can't even show people pictures of because they own it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You sign a contract like a phone book when you do your artwork for them.
Well, that kind of sucks, though.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm sure those pieces are like amazing, and you can't even share it with anybody.
We couldn't make money as visual artists, or it was hard to make money. I won't say you couldn't make money, but it was hard to make money before the internet came along, which you probably don't remember because you're younger. And,
Thank you for that, but
I was around when the internet wasn't around.
okay, and social media.
right.
So you couldn't like blow yourself up or brand yourself or all that stuff are just things that started happening, and careers are being made on people that brand people, and it's a whole new world.
It's a whole new world.
It's an exciting world we live in today. Like you said, I have a TV show that's coming out. It's based around my art, kind of like Anthony Bourdain meets Shameless. I don't know, something like that.
I cannot
somewhere
wait
in that,
to
in
see
that
it.
category, and it's really good that more creative people have their visions coming to fruition because there's just more. I mean, I was coming up, there were 3 TV stations, NBC, ABC, and CBS.
Right.
And that's it. So that's the only TV there was. I think it's so incredible that I can come home at night after a hard day's work and just veg and turn on Netflix or Bravo or some channel and just watch TV show after TV show.
I think with social media, the great thing is you don't have the gatekeepers that, want to monopolize everything. Although I have like a love-hate with social media, but you don't have to. There is no more gatekeepers. You can make your own way.
That's right, and that's what you need to do if you want to make money. And key to me, and what you said, what is a roadmap of art walls? Well, I became a architectural artist, and I'm working for the studios and the theme parks and architects and builders because I needed to have a check. My wife didn't want to hear from I had 6 kids, not counting Mexico. So, but she didn't want to hear that
I love you.
I didn't have a. I'm sorry we don't have shoes and we don't have food and we sleep in our car, but I didn't want to do that, so I had to drive. So I would drive from Laguna Beach to Burbank to work for sometimes on a set, and I'd drive and work at the theme parks, and I paid my dues, and it was really hard to be an artist. And so after college, I got into the bar business. Like you said, I had some restaurants and bars. And I woke up one morning at 35 years old, and I realized I was just babysitting a bunch of people. I went back and became an artist. And then I realized I can't make money unless I want to hang my artwork in a gallery and wait for somebody to come in. Today, you just do your e-commerce gallery, put it on your e-commerce site, and people are buying it in Florida. But you can't try to depend on making money on just a physical art gallery and having people walk in and buy your work. You
it's very limiting.
So I wouldn't want to go back and do my journey again, but it's made me what I was because it taught me how to work.
Right.
And pick up my lunch pail and go to work and, forget writer's block.
But life full circle because, maybe if you wouldn't have gone through all of that, right, then you wouldn't be where you're at now, where you've written your book and you're at 5 bestseller lists and you have a TV pilot and you have your art that's being exhibited.
Right.
And I want to talk a little bit about you created the Waterman's Wall in Laguna Beach.
Right. That's part of the roadmap of art walls. And what that is, it's a 40-foot wall on the side of the Hobie building. In 2008, when the building industry went away,
right,
I was doing really well selling over here on Melrose at the Blue Whale.
Right.
Pacific Design
the
Center.
Design Center.
I had a showroom, and I was selling my sculptured doors. I'm famous for my sculptured doors and handles.
They're beautiful. I saw
yeah,
some of the pieces. Oh, my God.
Thank you. And and then one day I woke up, and the entire building industry had gone away because of the crash of 2008.
Oh, my God.
The
Yeah, that
rates
was
of the crash. So I had to go back and invent myself. So I started doing these big bas relief. And bas relief, the word is a French word, and it means drawing and sculpture. So it's like a 3D object that's placed on the side of a wall that's flat. That's a sculpture. It's a 3D
sculpture.
But it's really a drawing. It's
right.
Like a drawing. Because all the elements are like, you have to really pay attention to perspective and where the thing's going to be seen from. It's not like something you can walk around like a sculpture. So I created my first one in Upland, California called The History of Upland. It was a 50-foot wall, and then I saw this big wall in Laguna Beach on the side of the Hobie building, and I approached to Mark Christie, the guy that owns Hobie, and asked him if he wanted to make something on our waterman. I'm a surfer, so I wanted to make a mural there of our ocean heritage and our waterman culture in Laguna. And it was kind of crazy because he loved the idea. And we went to the city, and he got it passed through the city immediately. They loved the project, and then it's crazy working in public art. I went to the sign review of the city, and they told me it couldn't be bigger than 4 by 8 feet, or it would be construed as a billboard. It's like 40 feet by 10 feet.
Oh, my God.
They told me that I could do it, and it's passed, but I had to find the money because the Hobie Sports couldn't put up the money for the project. So I got it approved, but I immediately lost my money. So
because you had to pay for everything.
Yeah, so that was a 2-year project. And then I started getting, after I got that one done, I got really famous for that one. And then that's how I got other walls offered to me and projects offered to me.
What is the craziest thing you've had to do for one of your pieces?
I had to make some sculptured double door for this lady down in Rancho Santa Fe of schnauzers, of dogs.
Oh, my God.
I didn't really want to do it.
Randy, I got to say, you have a book that you just launched, The Creation Code, and it's already on 5 bestseller categories on Amazon. And I want to know, what is the book about and where can people find it?
Okay. They can still find it on Amazon. They can also go to my website, randymorganart.com. And it's called The Creation Code. And it's about, like, who is our ultimate creator? God, right?
Right.
He says in the Bible, I'm the creator and we are made in what? The image of God. So I
Right.
guess that makes us all
A piece of God.
Our birthright is we're creators.
Yeah.
Because we're like God, right? He
Yeah.
says it. I didn't.
Right.
But,
I love that. Creation Code.
So what I do in this book is I just show younger artists that as the internet came along and where you can market your work, where you can sell your work, and I wove that into telling my story. My life,
wow.
like these little stories I have.
Right.
I'm an Irishman, and I'm a storyteller, and I'm a storyteller of my art. Like you met Joe, my producer of the TV show,
Right.
with Mark Gold.
We're going to have him come in
and
here a
he's
little
going to
bit
come in
later.
a little while, but
Yeah.
I also have him working at Randy Morgan Art now, and I'm lucky to have him to help put the wheels on a lot of the social media and the stuff we're doing.
Well,
so.
and it's great that you're helping new artists and telling your story because that's how you learn. And you're absolutely right. I love the message that if you don't believe in yourself, there's
you're
no
not gonna
way
go anywhere.
you're not going to go anywhere. Because if you don't believe in yourself, how's anybody else going to believe in you?
What was it I heard the other day that I really resonated with me? I think it was you're treated however you let people treat you.
Exactly.
So you know what I mean? It's like I've like people in relationships. Well, he treats me so bad. Well, how long's he been doing this? Well, 8 years. Well,
That you allowed it.
what
Yeah.
can I say to you?
Yeah. It's like you got to take control of your life.
Him or her? I just mean
Exactly. No, right.
or
right.
even a business relationship.
Well, any type of relationship, because there's all type friendships. You hear people complain about friends, especially women, about their girlfriends and this and that, and it's like, well, you allow that to happen.
Right.
So right before we get to our game, because we want to play a little game
Okay,
with
cool.
you, I know that you have what's called Motown Wall. Motown
Oh,
Wall.
yeah.
What is that? Can you tell us a little bit
Well,
about that?
The 60-year anniversary of Motown is this year. I took a trip back to Detroit. The first thing I did was go to the Motown Museum because I love Motown. When I was a kid
Me
growing
too.
up, in that era that I grew up, it was Motown, the Beach Boys, the Beatles. It was Muhammad Ali. It was Martin Luther King, the Vietnam War, social change. And so they were a big part of it. There were no black labels or really black artists until Motown kicked the door down in the music industry.
Right.
So to honor that, I'm being mentored by my pastor at my church, Tim Story. He's known as the pastor to the stars, Robert Downey Jr., Charlie Sheen, the list goes on.
Right.
He's very good friends with Smokey Robinson and Berry Gordy and all
Wow.
the stars of Motown.
Right.
And so we were talking. I just told him, well, this is what I do with these walls. And I brought Joe on board in my company a while back to do video of my big walls, something that's visually looks. And really in art, all you're trying to do is evoke a feeling in the viewer. You can't really tell a story. How do you tell a story? I mean,
Right.
Most people don't
You
know.
visually tell a story.
You visually tell a story. but
Exactly.
You can't tell the story completely. You can't
Right.
complete the story. So I've done a couple of documentary films off of my pieces. Monument I'm doing in Laguna right now, The Waterman's Wall, where we did video along with it. It just morphed into, after we met Tim and we talked to Tim, and he was down to, let's do a Motown wall.
Oh, my
And,
God. So is it going to be in
he-
Detroit?
We're going to make it in L.A. here.
Oh, listen.
And,
hey.
and we're going to, because the story is half Detroit and half here.
Of course.
And Detroit's butthurt, like when the Chargers left San Diego and came to L.A., the whole town is crushed.
Shit went down.
Not the government, but all the fans are,
Yeah,
crushed.
yeah.
Well, the same thing happened in Detroit. So we feel that we should make, and from left to right, what I'll do is I'll use the Detroit skyline as the backdrop and 12 or 14 of the groups from the LA Now backwards.
Oh, that sounds
until
amazing,
the start.
Randy.
And then we'll make using the iconic images that we all know, like the Supremes with Ed Sullivan standing next to.
I remember my
Then-
parents watching Ed Sullivan all the time. It's like all the amazing artists that.
I'm just going to kind of be the art director. I want to bring in the black artists in Detroit that, I'm a white guy in Detroit trying to do a Motown mural. Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
but it's in
So
your
I-
heart.
So I'm not
It's a-
crazy.
it's-
but like Tim said, God put the idea in you, so it doesn't really matter. But
Well, I can't wait to see this.
so it will be a documentary too.
Oh
It'll
my
be-
God! So we're gonna see you everywhere. You
Yeah.
got bestsellers, TV
Well, I don't know about that.
pilot. It's everywhere. Your artwork is everywhere. Well, next we're gonna play a little game and have a little
Okay, that
fun.
sounds like
And I'm gonna have Joe come in for the game
All
too.
right.
So
Good,
let's
Joe.
call them in. Come on, guys.
All right, so we have producer Joe Hulse of Joe Hulse Productions is here with Randy today. They work closely together all the time, so we bullied him into playing this game that we play on the show every week. So normally the way that we play this game, it's called Two Tweets and a Lie. But Randy, you don't tweet. But your book is crushing it on Amazon. So what I thought I would do is I would alter the game a little bit. I usually read 3 tweets, 2 of which are real, 1's a lie. These are 3 Amazon reviews, 2 are real, and 1 is a lie. They are not for your book, but they are for products that I thought were either on brand or funny. So I'm going to read you 3 reviews, and you guys have 5 seconds to guess as to which one is fake, and then I will let you know. Are you guys ready to play?
Right.
I was born ready.
All
We
right.
have 5 seconds.
Yes,
right?
you have 5 seconds. So,
And I'm like potato salad. I'm always ready.
ready?
Just don't leave it out.
Okay, so the first product that we're reviewing is for the movie The Bronze, a 2016 comedy starring Gary Cole. The first review says, "There was no disc in the box." The second review is, "This movie was very much what you would expect from a bunch of 17-year-olds who rent an HD camera and try to make their own movie." Third review is, "Funny, but not like very funny. You'll laugh in your head for sure, but not out loud." Which one is the fake review of the movie The Bronze?
I'll guess the first one.
First one's fake.
I think the first one was fake as well.
I think the second.
You are all wrong. There was no disc in the box is a very real review, and then the second one was also a real
My
review.
Goodness.
Thank you. I made the third one up.
All right.
Okay, so the second product we're going to review is a Tree of Life Celtic wall plaque. It looked kind of sculptury, and these are the reviews for it. First one, "I thought it was going to be big and metal. It is small and plastic. So small it should be considered a choking hazard." Second review, "This was going to be a gift for a friend. Thank God I opened it. They would have been very upset. This could have caused a terrible fight between us. Terrible product." And then the third review is, "Cute but cheap. LOL, like me."
Well, the first one sounds like a porn toy. Go ahead, Randy.
That one was a disappointment, wasn't it?
I think the third one's fake.
Third one's fake.
I'm once again I'm in agreement with you, which is scary. But I say number
it is,
3.
huh?
I'll go with porn number 1.
The third one is a real review that somebody left. Cute but cheap like me is real on this product. But Elizabeth, you are right. That first one is fake. But I've been
Unfair
saying
advantage.
it. She does have a home court advantage because
Yes.
she's starting to learn my sense of humor. She was not always great at this game, but she's getting much better. Okay, so the third product is that you can buy 9,000 live ladybugs on Amazon. Yeah, this was new information to me. So these
Why
are
9,000?
I couldn't for the life of me figure out why, and I smoke a lot of pot, and I was trying to figure out
couldn't have
why
been
that
done
was the number
10,000.
last night.
Yeah,
I was
that's
like, the fact that it wasn't an even number really bothered me.
Yeah, 9,000.
9,000, and it's only available in that particular quantity. So these are the reviews for this very confusing product. Number 1, all my ladybugs showed up dead. 2, I really liked them when I got them. They were alive and crawling around. I put them out at dusk. A heavy rain came through that night. And the third review is delicious, which is the fake Amazon review.
I'm going with number 3.
I am too again.
Hey, let's get
First
off my
time we-
page. Try
it's the
mix it
first
up a
time
little
we've
bit.
ever agreed
Go
on
with
that.
something else.
I'll go with number 2. I will
Number
go
two?
with number 2.
I think number 2.
Number
You
2.
go with number 1, then somebody will be right.
Number 2 is real, and number 1 is real. Number 3 was fake.
Yes.
You get, to,
What am I winning for
you
this?
get to buy lunch.
Oh, that's the best part of this game. You win 9,000 ladybugs. Awesome, you guys. Thank you so much for playing Two Tweets and a Lie Amazon edition. Please buy Randy's book. I can't wait to read it. I was very excited about it in the booth. So everybody get yourself a copy on Amazon.
And
Thanks.
so
Creation
thank you
code.
so much for having me on. It was really fun.
Randy, thank you again for coming in. Give us your website and where people can find you, which is
RandyMorganArt.com.
Randy Morgan Art. And also, you have your book right now, Creation Code, on Amazon.
Which is an Amazon bestseller on Amazon.
Well, it's on 5 bestseller on Amazon.
I made a 5th one.
Yes. You
Well, I
didn't
wasn't
know. You
looking.
see how informative this show is?
That's cool.
I'm even teaching my guests about themselves. So I have one last question, and it's a question I ask all my guests. I have a feeling you're left unsupervised a lot, but if you were left unsupervised and nobody could see you, what would you do?
I think I would get naked and just do naked stretching because nobody likes that. No guy likes to look at his body.
Spoken like a true California boy.
Naked stretching. Do my stretches.
Oh, my God. Well, Randy, that is a visual that I will never forget.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming, and I cannot wait to see your TV show and read your book. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. It was fun.
Thanks for listening to Left Unsupervised. Don't forget to stalk us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Left Unsupervised Podcast. We'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for listening.